Hello and welcome to beautiful Austria, the return of racing at SSR Tier 1. I am here with my co-host GB Sanderson. I am the AJ Mars 7. We've got a dry quali coming over from Race Control. We're waiting to see who's going to take us out first. We got a McLaren dipping out of the pit boxes first. Is it going to be Charisma? It is Charisma. Charisma will be our pace setter today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Dry quali. Wet to dry race. Wet to dry race here for Tier 1. Going to be some craziness for sure. We're going to have to see how everybody decides to go with strategies. As always, it is an 18-minute quali. Short qualifying session. Everyone will get a chance to get some laps. We took a short break last week. We missed you guys, so welcome back. I know everybody here is excited to be back on the track, especially here at Austria. We're going to see some incredibly fast times from this group. I'm just excited to be back. I know my co-host here, GB, has wrangled up some exciting facts about Austria for you today. He's going to be rattling those all through the stream today. So stay tuned for those exciting, fun facts of useless knowledge.
I mean, why don't we
some
start
changes.
off with one fun fact? Why not? For any zoological fans out there, the oldest zoological garden in the world is the Tiergarten Schönbrunn in Vienna, founded in 1752. It's pearls of wisdom like that you just won't get on any other stream than SSR. You won't get it anywhere else.
One day, you're going to play Jeopardy, and GB is going to save you a lot of money. Also, some changes done to the formats here. We have initiated formation laps. You will see formation laps as of today's race going forward. Guys, be careful. The overtake glitch is still active. I was stuck in Tier 2 with an overtake on for the entire race, so keep that in mind. Don't touch that overtake during the formation lap. Let's leave some space. Just drive aggressively but respectfully. I see everybody starting to pile in. We got Jamie the G in the chat. Shalom, my friend. Sound off. Be noticed. I will call you out. Platnor's there as well. Welcome, Platnor. Charisma's coming around, setting the first time, but he is invalidated as we see Kurt gets back in there after the unfortunate lag out. We've got Oleg on an out lap. No, Massive Afro. Massive Afro. 103.5 setting the bar high for us. We've got Neymar in behind him going on a lap.
Neymar invalidated his as well, so he'll go for a second lap.
Got a racing point back there of Murph, ABR Murph. We always love to see him in the Williams, always throwing down some incredibly fast times. We got coming across here, Kurt is back in, still in the pits. Looks like everybody's on laps now. Here we go, talking about ABR Murph. Purple Sector 1 already.
Seems a lot of people invalidated that first lap because people crossing the line, not many setting original first lap times, so maybe
there we go, Zampa invalidating in the last turn too. That last turn is always a killer. Alright, Charisma in with a 104.1 after invalidating his first go around.
Riding on board.
Got the racing point of Neymar right in behind him.
We'll go P2. Good lap.
P2 for
103.6.
3.6.
Murphy's coming around the final corner. He's set purple sectors 1 and 2. But seems to have invalidated his lap as well on the final corner.
Oleg squeezing in there for P4. 4.2 for him. Vision's in the pits. Monkey. Oh, able to sneak in there. 138. 138 for Monkey. That's P3 right now.
And I think Division set his lap time just before Monkey crossed the line as well. He also set a 1 minute 3.8, so very close between the two drivers there.
Chalupa getting his time, P7, 4.4 for him. He can do better than that. We're going to see him get another one here shortly.
Zampa is not going to cross the line on his second lap out. He's coming straight back into the pits.
Conley's coming out of the pits. PBR Abner on a lap here. PB solid contender. We've seen PB on his stream over the last couple of days in the iRacing. Unfortunately, he invalidates in turn 1. If you haven't, check out PB's stream. Solid guy. He does a mix of racing. The Assetto Corso. He does some iRacing. Of course, we see him here in our league at F1. So don't miss out. He's a solid guy to follow. Got JDM haters on an outlap. Looks like that last corner got him a little bit too.
He is going to set a time lap though this time round. So we'll see what sort of pace JDM has in the Red Bull. He's consistently one of the high performers in this group, in this tier 1 set of drivers. So we'll be interested to see what his original pace is like around this Spielberg circuit. We also have PB Rabner coming around the final corner at the moment. He's about to start another flying lap. He invalidated his previous attempt. Running on board with JDM, he's just gone purple through sector 2. So we'll see what sort of pace he has as he comes down now through turn 9. Gotta be careful not to run it too wide out of turn 9 and turn 10. Out the final corner he comes, coming up to the line. JDM haters will go P5 with a 1 minute 4.017. So a very competitive lap time there from JDM. Only a couple of attempts outside of the top 3. So yet again, very, very close. Thank you for the follow, Lil Mick. 3597, welcome to the stream. We hope you enjoy.
Absolutely, that's a big shout there. Thanks, little Mick. Hope you enjoy the show today. Tier 1 SSR Racing. After our short break there, we are back and better than ever. Making some changes here to the format, to the league, hopefully for the better. Tier 2 put on quite a show today. Outstanding racing by everybody. Tier 1 is here, and they're going to do just the same. We know it. They're always putting on a good show. Can't wait to see what they bring to the table here with the return to racing. Massive Afro, 135, dropping his time down. Reflex Pilot in there right behind him, 135.9. P2 bumping Neymar down. Halo has retired from the session. Not sure what happened there. Maybe an incident. Looks like he's in the pits, though. Maybe just wants that driver of the day honors.
Yeah, it's not all that rare to see people competing for the driver of the day if they know they're not going to be in with a chance of that P1. You do quite often see it. People are interested in driver of the day. Looks like it's going to be Conley who's next up to the line. He comes out the final corner on his set of mediums. We'll set a 1 minute 5.3, quite a way off the pace, nearly a second off King Chalupa in P9. So I'm sure there's more to come from the AlphaTauri driver. As BRL Neymar sets the new pace with a 1 minute 3.1.
Big lap there by Neymar.
4/10 of a second quicker than Afro. That is a stormer of a lap time.
Absolutely. Yet to put up a time, Kurt. Unfortunate lag out at the beginning of quali. ABR Murph with an invalidation there on his first outing. PBR Abner in the pits. Halo taking the early retirement. Looking to start from the back. Fortunate there. But hey, I did it in Tier 2. He can do it here. ABR Murph with the steal there. 3.102, squeezing out Neymar for that first spot. I told you guys there's going to be some big times here. Division jumping up as well. P3, 103.444. It's going to move him up about 3 spots. Big lap for him. We got Zampa coming around yet to put a time up. That last corner is giving him a little trouble today. We're going to jump on board with him. Zamp recently into the 1.2 club in the time trial boards. He's been sweating it out, trying to get down there. Consistent pace every week. He's looking to have a big day today in the McLaren. Been a tough break for them this season.
We're just under 8 minutes to go. We'll be expecting to see some more people out for their final runs in a few minutes' time. But what do you think? Do you think we can get into the 1 minute 2s in this qualifying session? We've already got 2 drivers in the 103.1s. We're not that far off, are we?
Not that far off at all, and I think there's a couple of guys here that can definitely do it. We see Neymar and Murph down there nipping at the number. They're very, very close. Big shout out to Carl in the chat. Thanks for the shout, bud. It's good to be back. I'm glad to see everybody here. Did Kurt disconnect again? Somebody's saying Kurt disconnected.
He is back out on track, so I'm not sure.
Nope, looks like he is driving the car.
Send another invite to him just in case, but like you say, I do think he is the man behind the wheel at the moment.
Oh, and then it shows Kurt with no time jump all the way up to 3rd place with a 103.2 in Sector 2.
Interesting.
Not really sure what's going on there. And it shows him invalidated now, so he's definitely struggling there. Kurt having some problems with the connection. Chalupa coming around trying to improve. He gets 2 spots, 14.13. That's going to squeeze out Charisma, put him right behind his teammate JDM Haters in P9.
I've just
not sure what's
Kurt.
going on with Kurt here.
Yeah, Kurt's just crossed the line to set that 1 minute 3.2, but as he came around the final corner on his telemetry, he was apparently only 25 seconds into his lap time, so really not sure what's
definitely
going on
struggling there. Not sure what's up with Kurt. PBR, Abner, gets him a time, 105.1. That's P13. His teammate Craig Conley right behind him, 105.3. Conley's a big contender. Got him a win in the FDC earlier in the week. Always up there at front. Good, solid driver. We're looking to see him put up a good performance here. Not sure how much practice he's been able to get here at Austria. This is a tough grid to compete against. Everyone's got some incredibly fast qualifying times. It's really hard to, compete up there at the front. It could be anybody's, really.
Yeah, it is a very close grid that we find. King Chalupa. I don't know if he's just finished the lap or he's just starting one. I think he's just finished the lap.
Looks like he just finished. He jumped ahead of his teammate there. 137. That's going to squeeze out JDM, move him 1 more spot back. Murph's still up there with the 131.02, holding on to the front spot. Looking to catch a toe off these 2 guys.
We have a 1 minute 2 lap time.
2.8. 1.28.
2.8.
GB called it. Said we're going to see it, and we have 1.28. What a big, big, big lap by Neymar.
That is a very, very fast time.
Oleg comes screaming around the penultimate here. He's going to look to improve. Does not. Still hanging on to 12th place. Oleg in the Mercedes. Chalupa is invalidated. Probably going to see him dip in the pits here. I think he was on a cooldown. Going to try to get him 1 more.
Charisma
on an out lap.
His lap.
So we see him rip down the straight there.
Let's hope we don't invalidate into turn 1. No, looks good and clean out of turn 1 as he climbs the hill now through the weirdly given a corner, this little part of the straight. Turn 2 up into turn 3, the slow right-hander at the end of the first DRS straight. And then up along the back straight, another DRS straight. There are 3 DRS straights around this Spielberg circuit. I'm not sure if it's the only track on the calendar to have 3.
I believe Mexico has 3. If I remember right.
And potentially Abu Dhabi, maybe?
I think Abu Dhabi might have 3 as well. Mexico's got Sector 2, 1, 2, and 3.
Though.
Oh
Charisma.
No, tough break there for Charisma.
Oleg with tires in the
catching
session.
the grass there.
Oleg
happy with his time.
Out on track, he's going
What
to
do we
get
got coming around? Zampa on an out lap, not happy with the 103.5. Like I said, Zampa this week in TT tasted the 1.2s. He knows he can do it. He's just got to find it. Reflex Pilot bumped down to 7th after that early jump in the top of the group there, looking to get back some time. Massive Afro also on an out lap, one of the top contenders there for the pole position.
I tell you what, that midfield battle is extremely close at the moment.
Ah, yeah, blinking of an eye and you've missed it.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
there
you
together.
look at the gap between just P4 down to P9. There's only a couple of tenths of a second, just 3 tenths actually, between P4 and P9. It is ridiculously close. 3 drivers, Afro, Zampa, and Reflex, all in the 103.5. So.
Monkey just started his lap. Who do we got behind? Reflex Pilot looks like he's invalidated. Division on a lap set in purple sector 2.
See what Division can
Here's
do.
the key.
Can he be
It's
another
all
man?
through this sector.
Maybe another
No
man
forgiveness here in the
into
F1 game. You get just a bit too much tire off in that last corner and it will do you. 1.3402. That's going to be P4 for him.
He does knock a little bit of time off his fastest lap, but not too much there. Not enough to gain a position anyway, but he does improve marginally.
A couple of outlappers. JDM is on a lap. Not sure if he's on a cooldown or not. Him and Chalupa are running right there together at the same pace.
Bit
I
of
see some
traffic
teamwork from
up
those
on
two.
the back straight there. Quite a few drivers up between turns 3 and 4, so hopefully that doesn't cost anyone in their flying laps.
JDM jumping a few spots up to P8, 103.6. It's a good lap by him. Zampa's coming around into 2 with a purple sector 2. Charisma on an out.
Starting a lap.
Let's see who's behind him. Murph is on an out. Let's check in on Zampa. He's screaming along here. He's looking to stay valid in this last corner. Looking good so far. P3 for Zampa. 3.118. Just squeezes out Kurt. Puts him just in behind ABR Murph. Good lap for him.
Very close as well there. Between Zampa and Murphy. Only 16 thousandths of a second between the two of them, so...
Here comes Massive Afro across the line, looking to move up as well. He does not improve.
Conley crossed the line just afterwards. He only did enough to jump his teammate for P13. Next up to the line will be...
JD dip into the pits. Here comes Monkey.
Monkey validates on the final corner.
In the last turn.
And it was a 1 minute 3.6, which would have been enough only for P8. So he hasn't lost out too much. He will be P9
not
at the
improving.
Who's
ABR
next?
Murph 103.1. He's still going to be in P2. We
Chalupa
got out there. Looks
has
like
invalidated his time, so he pulls into the pits. Neymar also
is
pulling.
invalidated. Staying out. Weird strategy here.
Go take the checkered flag, why not? Anyone else?
Craig's coming around, looking at his final. Jumping up a few spots. P11, right at the buzzer. P11 for Conley. Squeezing Charisma down in Oleg too.
Yeah, it doesn't quite break into the 103s, but gets into that P11, and that could be important. He now gets that free choice of tyres in the race as well, so very good. Proved to be a very good starting position down in P11.
There you have it, guys. That's going to be your starting grid. Front row, Neymar and Murph. Right behind him, Zampa and Kurt. Division, Massive Afro, Reflex and Haters, Monkey and Chalupa closing out the top 10. Everyone else on the fun tires, whatever they choose.
It'll be interesting to see what Halo can do from the back of the grid. Of course, not setting a lap time in qualifying. Will he go for that Driver of the Day award? And will he actually get the Driver of the Day award? Will he overtake enough people to win that?
Alright, folks, while we wait on that to wrap up, stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with you. Alright, it's rolling.
Nice.
Well, now it's got Kurt back on an outlap. How's Kurt back on an outlap?
I don't know. We've only got 20 seconds left of the session anyway, so
Yeah, he won't.
it'll be
He
right.
won't get a lap. It's good. Stinner Razin division there in the chat. Oh no, looks like it is gonna let Kurt get a time here. Very late. Interesting.
Oh dear. Let's see what sort of time Kurt can do then. I mean, for me, it says he's only 20 seconds into his lap.
Alright, looks like it did allow him to do his lap. I think he is lagged out, honestly. It doesn't look like it is doing what it's supposed to here.
Yeah, not at all. Go send Kurt an invite, try and get him back in.
We should see it dip him after this go around. Looks like a glitch, that is correct. Yeah, that's normal. The AI at the bottom is normal. It says Kurt has left
Kurt's
the
gone
session.
now.
Alright, do not invite Kurt back until after the formation lap is completed, please.
Yep.
We know that is a known issue. Kurt, if you're watching, buddy, we will get you back ASAP. If we re-invite before the formation lap, it will cause a server issue. Bear with us. Looks like Halo's the only person unable to get a time there, retiring early in the session. Maybe a quali ban, I believe. I think there might be why he didn't qualify. I think if I remember right, that is the case. That would explain why he dropped out so early.
See there, this in sandwich commercial, laughing that we've got a commercial about sandwiches. Do not take the mick out of our sandwiches.
Alright, like we heard, wet to dry race. Wet to dry race. So we're going to start on some moisture here. Like I said, we've changed the format a little bit. There is a formation lap. Kurt, bear with us if you're watching, man. We're going to get you right back in as soon as they form back up on the formation. We know if you invite during the formation, it will crash the lobby. It's unfortunate, man. Jamie in the chat saying, of course, F1's got to stop Kurt from winning. GB is standing by with the invite. As soon as we get
Yep,
the formation,
I'm ready
we're
whenever.
going to get Kurt back in here.
While we wait, let me find you another weird and wacky fact about Austria, because, I mean, I know you've all been wanting it. That's why people have tuned into this stream. It's not for the racing, they wanted the wacky facts about Austria. So, what can I tell you about Austria? Well, how about the sewing machine was invented in 1818 by Joseph Madas. How the hell do I say that, sir? Joseph Madisberger. And he was Austrian. Why you needed to know that, I don't know. But I'm sure you're glad you now know that.
We all have pantaloons. All right. Normal procedure here. Give a little bit of time for everybody to get their strategy set up, especially with the weather change. That's going to mix everybody up. We see Zampa light up. There he goes. The timer's tick. You should see all the racers follow. Again, we will have a formation lap. As soon as that's over, we're going to get Kurt back in here because we want to see Kurt compete as well. It's going to be a tough break on the strategy, though. I'm not sure what's going to give him.
Glad you're enjoying the facts there, stream chat. I'm glad you're enjoying them.
Well, fun fact about Red Bull, it doesn't actually give you wings, it just gives you heart problems. Remember, moderation and everything. Moderation and everything. All right, we see Neymar taking us out. I'm not sure how warm they're going to get those tires on the wet surface, but looks like just about everybody on the inters. Let's pull up some details here and take a look. Everybody on the inters. It is going to be a wet to dry race, so we are going to see some excitement here. Intervals are set. Let's get that off the screen. All right, guys, you saw the quali. Who do you think is going to take it home today? Wet to dry race. Keep that in perspective. Hit me up in the chat. Let me know who you think is going to take it home today. Bonus points to anyone that can predict the podium. All right, we got a vote for division. Kurt, SSR taking it home. Any predictions on the podium?
Well, I mean, when you look at the qualifying, Neymar definitely was the man setting the pace. He was a couple of attempts ahead of everyone else in that session, so I would expect to see Neymar challenging for the win today, but in changeable conditions, I think it's going to be very tough to predict it. It all depends when that rain to dry period comes about. If people can time it well and be at that pit lane at the optimal time to change onto those dry tyres, that could make or break a race, pretty much.
Absolutely. And I just got to say, JDM Haters absolutely loves the wet weather. He's said it more than once. He doesn't mind water at all. He could be a contender here with the wet conditions. Jamie the G saying Charisma is going to be the first out. No love there for Charisma. Everybody loves Christmas time. Come on.
One last thing before the race starts. Carl, you asked for a weird fact about Red Bull. Well, at one point it was pulled from markets in Germany for allegedly containing cocaine. How's that for you, mate? Hope that suits your needs.
All right, there we see Kurt rejoin. The lights are out. Everybody struggling for grip off the start. Neymar's taking us into turn one. Zampa right behind, going way wide. Giving room. We're clean through turn one.
Yeah,
we got Neymar first division.
Alive.
Zampa falling back. Here's going to be the real one. Nice and slippery through here. Dip back a little bit so we can see everybody. Everybody through. Three wide there. Ferrari, Red Bull, AlphaTauri. Everybody giving a little space, but staying in contention. That was fantastic through there.
We've got
As predicted,
King
Neymar's still out
Chalupa.
front.
King Chalupa all the way up into P5 already in this race.
Yeah, big charge by him there at the start. Getting past
He's
Reflex
already
there on the
up
outside.
5 positions. So a fantastic start by King Chalupa to get himself up into P5, and that Red Bull already up from P10, where he started up 5 places. But out of the front, as we come around the final couple of corners, it's still Neymar leading the way. He's almost got a second's gap back to ABR Murphy. So fantastic start for the man in the Racing Point, doing myself and Maestro very proud from Tier 2. But looking back,
here, I've got Neymar ghosted out front, dropping to P7, but I still see him out front. I think we got some telemetry issues.
Yeah, a bit of a telemetry issue there. Neymar's still definitely leading the way, with Murphy in P2.
Looks like everybody making it through there clean. Charisma looking on the inside of Conley there. So far, so good, guys. Tier 1 showing it off. Wet conditions and keeping it clean so far. Conley doing his best to get around the outside of Charisma here. Holding him off. Charisma sticking it in there. They are battling it out. Tough spot to be there for Charisma on the outside. Conley doing his best to keep the car inside. Looks like Conley's going to defend him this time.
Kurtz has left the session again. We'll get him back in.
Kurt's struggling with connection issues here.
We'll give him a couple more tries, and if not, might have to call it a day for Kurt.
ABR Murph putting in the fast lap, 1:14.2 right now behind Neymar. Zampa making a charge here on division.
Back behind, Zampa might be thinking of having a go on division up into turn 3. He decides against it.
He's going to err on the side of caution here. Division shuts the door down low. You see all the spray kicking up there. Real hard for these drivers to see.
Further back, Halo and Rabner are battling over P13 and 14. Close tussle
on
between
board
those
with Halo
two
now as he goes for the move.
Dives it up the inside.
Real deep in that corner in the grass.
Let's go
Abner
left.
keeping it down low. Yep, Abner able to battle it back. Halo came in hot there. Looked like he was unable to keep the car in line. The nose didn't want to turn in there.
Yeah, and out at the front, Neymar now extending his lead over Murphy to just over a second. Obviously, there's currently no DRS in this race due to the wet weather conditions, but when the should DRS come back during this stint, he will of course be outside of the 1 second window that you need.
We're on board with Massive Afro right now. He's got the teeth out for King Chalupa. Right in behind him, looking to make a move to the inside. Dips to the outside. Chalupa's made his one move. They roll in too wide. Chalupa able to defend. A little bit of wheel bang in there. That was a gutsy move with the conditions. Well done by both drivers to keep it together. Afro with a little lockup, trying to get the car turned in underneath Chalupa.
It looked like in the background we saw Reflex Pilot have a bit of a sideways moment, but he's managed to keep it under control. Showing off his good control in these conditions.
We've got Murph chewing away a little bit there. Half second on Neymar, closing the gap just a bit there in Sector 3. They're kind of running away with it here. Big gap behind them, 4 seconds to division. It looks like they're going to be the two up front until somebody makes a mistake. Murph with a 1:13.9, stealing away the fast lap there. Massive Afro going for the move here into turn 1.
Up the inside, cuts the
Side
corner a
by
little bit.
side.
They're still side by side. Going up the hill though.
As he pushes Chalupa out a little bit, Chalupa having to give way. Great move there.
Will Chalupa look to get back past up into turn 3? Not quite. He decides to stick behind. And he might now come under pressure from the likes of Reflex, Pilot and Monkey, and maybe even JDM as well. Bit of a train forming up behind these guys.
Yeah, you can see there in the reverse view that there's 4 or 5 cars looking to capitalize as well. Big shout to everybody tuning in. We got 13 viewers. If there's somebody you know that normally watches and you don't see them, let them know we are back racing this weekend in Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Looks like Halo and PBR are back there battling again. Halo able to get it done this time. Those two are charging back up the field, trying to get caught up with the pack. Neymar stretches that gap back to 1 second again. Looks like that charge by Murph was repelled. The Vision falling off another second. He's 5 behind that front pack. Zampa in tow, a second off him. Massive Afro charging now that he's past King Chalupa. He's got the orange McLaren of Zampa in his sights now, as we see in the TV cam there.
Yeah, Chalupa seems to be dropping back a little bit here. He's already over a second behind.
Here goes Afro making a move on the inside, turn 3. Big lockup, pushes Zampa wide, able to get it done. Good run through the straight there in Sector 1, able to get it done on Zampa. Putting in a big move there.
To come back though. Zampa's going to go
Zampa
side by
is
side.
not going quietly.
Afro manages to fend him off, so Zampa down to P5 from a starting position of P3. And now we'll see if Afro
really
can
pulling a
manage
lead
to
now.
bridge a gap.
On board with Zampa here, we see that gap opening up between him and Massive Afro. He's got a good run. He's got a good read on the line here.
It'll be interesting to see if Afro can bridge that gap to Zampa and try and get his way up behind Division and maybe even work his way into a podium position as Neymar sets another fastest lap, 1:13.4 there, but the gap back to Murphy still only about 1.2, 1.3 seconds, so he's not really running away from him at the moment, but they are definitely running away from Division in P3. As we see King Chalupa pick up a 3-second time penalty. I think he is one of the first people out there to do that today.
Yeah, GB, you can definitely tell the line's starting to dry up. The weather is still coming down, it's still raining, but there is a definite line there on the racing surface. Now, we've heard from the weatherman, looks like there will be a drying up here shortly, and it will go to a dry finish. So that is really going to mix things up. Do you think these guys go dry strategy? You know, dry setup, assuming the end's going to be dry and just battle the car in the beginning, or do they do wet setup and take that loss in the end?
I mean, it all depends when that dry to wet transition comes about in the race. If it is early on in that race, you probably want to be setting up with a dry setup. But of course, you want to basically set up whatever is going to give you the biggest advantage over your rivals. So it seems Afro definitely has a lot of pace in the wet. He is right up the back of Division at the moment, within half a second of him. But yeah, I mean, you see the gap to the leaders, it's just constantly growing at the moment. There is that sort of static gap between the two of them, between Neymar and Murphy, of about, well, there or thereabouts 1.5 seconds, but the gap back down to Division in P3 is just ever growing. Now it's 7.2 seconds, just 8 laps in. But like you said, we can see that that dry line is definitely forming on the circuit at the moment. It'd be interesting to see how many drivers actually verge off that dry line to try and help out the tyres a little bit, because obviously wet weather tyres would prefer to be on a wet track if they can be.
Well, and I'll tell you what, my teammate Tier 2, OTL Loogie, gave me a little tidbit earlier saying that you can get away with a dry setup here in the rain as long as it's light and you drive the car appropriately. So maybe we see some guys here that are struggling early in the dry setup, preparing for that late push, just trying to keep in the pace. So we may see that here too. A couple of guys lagging behind going to charge here late in the race. I think we're going to see Afro try to make a move here on the start straight. He is reeled in Division to 2/10. He will have the run if he can get it out of the corner. No DRS yet because the rain is still falling, but Division getting a good line out of there, able to pull away. Afro seems to be fast through this sector right here. He showed it on Zampa a few laps back, able to get it done on the inside, charging way up on Zampa.
Yeah, and Afro's got the overtake on there on the climb up the hill. He turns it off just before the braking zone, but
I mean, very close to the back of Division there.
Yes, I'm just looking.
Division though,
the two of them. Sorry, you go.
Division looking great on the throttle out of the corners, though. Not losing a lot of the rear end, able to keep it planted. He's getting good launches out, and that's allowing him to defend the way he is. We see a little bit of lockup by Massive Afro coming into the corners, and I think that's given Division that slight advantage, able to pull away a little faster from the turns.
One slight advantage though that I have spotted that Afro has over Division at the moment, if we take a look at their ERS percentage remaining, Division down in the 30% at the moment, whereas Massive Afro has a massive 75% of his ERS remaining, so that could definitely come in very crucial in this battle if he wants to get past Division, because he has obviously a lot more overtake mode available.
Absolutely, and we see ABR Murph taking away the fast lap there as well. Line's drying up, the times are dropping.
Afro's just had a bit of a moment there out of turn 1. He's lost a whole chunk of time to Division, now over a second and a half behind. Coming out, it looked like he just basically got his wheels a bit too much on the curb, lost the rear end a little bit, and had to massively brake to stop himself from going into a wall. So bit of a lucky escape there from Afro. It could have been a lot worse than it was, but he does lose a lot of time.
We see PBR Abner catching a 3-second there coming in from race control. Yeah, the curbs are not friendly, especially when they're wet, especially in these conditions. The tires don't want to get any grip. It's easy to get the car turned around. Massive tip of the hat to the driver ability there, keeping that car in a straight line.
Back out at
we got a big chain of cars now.
Yeah, we got a big chain of cars in that midfield. Out at the front though, Neymar and Murphy absolutely running away with this. They're almost 10 seconds now ahead of Division in P3, and well, the gap between the two leaders still sticking around that 1 second mark. Neymar not really able to get rid of Murphy at the moment, and I mean, I'm looking at the overtake modes of both of them. Murphy in a similar situation actually to Division and Afro. Murphy with over 70% of his ERS remaining, not using overtake mode all that much, whereas Neymar down in the 30% with his overtake mode. So quite a big difference between the two leaders. Perhaps Murphy might actually be sort of not showing off his true pace in these early stages.
We see Oleg in the pits. GB got a shout from Kurt asking for an additional invite. Can we see if we can get him back in one more time? I know he's struggling. He's a lap down, but let's see if we can get him back in here. Appreciate it. Close battle right now is Reflex Pilot trying to hunt down King Chalupa in the Red Bull. Also, his teammate JDM Haters in the Red Bull as well, trying to chase down Monkey there. About a half second, little more, separate those two battles. We see the Haas making a push now, closing into 4/10. There we go. We see Kurt join back in. Careful when you retake the car, Kurt. Make sure you get it in a straight. Don't want any accidents. We see the Haas maintaining gap, 4/10. Cuts the corner there pretty sharp, and Kurt right back out of the session. Don't think Kurt's going to be able to make it today. Tough break for Kurt. Always showing tremendous pace, but it looks like the connection is just not working for him today.
Tell you what, this is a real close midfield battle we've got going on at the moment. JDM Haters right at the back of Monkey, and in front of them we got a three-way train behind Zampa with King Chalupa and Reflex Pilot try to get their way past the McLaren, but a few little battles forming here as we go, well, hopefully towards the dry track at some point. It'll be quite interesting actually to see how long these intermediate tyres will last and whether people will be able to get it to the dry period, because when you ride on board with them, the rain is definitely still coming down at the moment.
I agree there. Yeah, we saw Oleg in the pits just now. I'm not sure if that was due to damage or maybe just trying to get some fresher tires so he can push. We'll see. He's all the way back to 14th, gnawing at PBR Abner at the moment. Looks like he will probably get a piece of him here shortly. Here he goes as we're on board with Oleg out left of PBR. PBR going to back out of it, looks like. Yep. Oleg takes him nice and clean before the double right-handers to conclude the track circuit here. Oleg charging on a fresh compound.
Massive Afro's caught back up to the back of Division after making that mistake earlier on in the race. So
Yeah, we see him coming into the sector 2 there.
Yeah, we'll see a bit of a battle between them two.
Oh, we see Murph catching a 3-second penalty there. That's big. That's big with the battle up front. They got a big gap to everybody behind them, but that could be the decider for the front of the pack. Him and Neymar up there battling it out.
Murphy is definitely catching up to Neymar here, but I do have a feeling that Murphy might be hiding some of his true pace, to be honest, because, well, I've just watched him there use a bit of overtake mode going down the start-finish straight, but he really has saved his ERS well in this race.
See Division dip into the pits there. Massive Afro going to squeeze by, as well as a few others. JDM Haters also squeezing by.
And the Williams of Monkey comes into the pits as well. Just a simple tyre change there for Division. He'll go back out on the intermediates. Looks like it's going to be
gearbox glitch on Murph. Trying to watch there. Neymar, commanding leader through the 14 laps we've done. Murph closing in real close, but I gotta agree with you, GB. I think Murph is just hanging in the wings, saving the car. I think he's gonna try to make a push once this dries up. Both these guys got good speed. There's definitely gonna be a battle. Not sure what's gonna be the outcome of that. Kurt trying one more time. One more time for Kurt, GB. One more time.
We'll try with one more, Kurt.
We're doing our best to get Kurt in here. We want him to be able to race. Might have to call it after this one, though. All right, Kurt, one more coming your way, buddy. Stand by. A little bit of a lock up there by Murph. Hanging in there. He's got the gearbox glitch. We're not going to go on board with that. Zampa catching a 3-second penalty, as well as JDM right behind him. Everybody's pushing. The tires are starting to wear. You're starting to see a few of these penalties pop up. You see there Neymar and Murph battling it out. Kurt back in the session. Hopefully we can keep him in here now. I know he's struggling right now. We hate to see it. Reflex Pilot still back behind King Chalupa. JDM Haters in tow with him as well. It's going to be interesting to see how the pit stops mix up. Everybody very close together. Everybody's within a pit stop range. No one's going to see a real advantage depending on how they split up. Seeing King Chalupa there fending off Reflex Pilot. Take a look back here in the back. Oleg past PBR Abner, who's in the pits for his first stop. Doing his best to get caught up to Monkey. He's 4 seconds behind. Monkey and Halo not too far off each other there in the back. Conley kind of in the middle of the pack here. Somebody mentioned him as the dark horse. We've seen him sneak out a few wins in our other formats. So always a competitor there, maybe just taking advantage of the strategy here. Charisma has had a rough season. Transition to pad, came back to wheel due to some relocation issues, trying to get back in the swing of things. McLaren not having the greatest of seasons here.
It'll be interesting to see as well whether anyone tries to stretch their intermediate tyres until the dry period, because I'm not, obviously as commentators we aren't sure how long there is until this dry weather is due to come, but we're almost at half distance, which you would have thought the intermediate tyres should need to be changed sometime around now. But you can see in the sky at the moment, the clouds do seem to be parting. A rain shower as it was earlier on in the race. Maybe we might see the likes of Neymar Murphy try and stretch their intermediates until it clears up.
Absolutely, yeah. You can definitely see the sun starting to peek out behind those ominous clouds as we see the big Red Bull there in the background as Zampa comes around the last two right-handers here. The stadium's packed. The rain has not thwarted the crowd. They are here to see the racing. Umbrellas are out in force. Everybody's cheering. Let's take a look here. JDM closing in 0.4 of a second. on Reflex Pilot. He's been nibbling away at him. Looks like he's finally in range. You see him feathering the throttle out of that tight 90-degree right-hander. Real easy to lose the rear end there. Just playing it safe. I think he's also trying to hang on to those tires. Everybody's trying to stretch these tires. Looks like Division may have pitted. He's all the way back to P9. Squeezing past Conley. We're going to see him surge up through the grid, I'm sure.
Yeah, the leader's still out on track at the moment. Neymar keeps on going defensive into turn 1, keeps on taking that inside line to try and break the slipstream, which of course, without DRS being available at the moment, slipstream becomes all that more important if you want to gain on your rival. But at the moment, as we see King Chalupa and Reflex Pilot both come into the pit lane.
JD and his teammate got to stay out in the other Red Bull.
It's a battle of the pit crews, see who comes out on top out of Haas and Red Bull. It's going to be the Red Bull team.
Halo also in the pits. Monkey going to squeeze by in the Williams. Maybe going for the undercut here. Chalupa's back out. Reflex Pilot right behind him.
Monkey separating the two.
Yep, monkey sandwich there.
Back out
First and second place. 16-second gap to that third place of Massive Afro.
I think the leaders are trying to extend this gap to be as close to a pit stop advantage as possible. I don't think we'll be seeing the likes of Neymar or Murphy.
Looks like Chalupa has lagged out. Can we get Chalupa there, GB?
Yes, we can.
Tough break, too. He's having a great race. Stand by, Chalupa. We got an invite coming, buddy. Stops are starting to occur. We see one of the McLarens dipping in. That's going to be Charisma taking the first stop for McLaren.
Like
the leaders have caught up to the back.
Yeah, like I was saying, I don't think we'll be seeing these two out front, Neymar or Murphy. I doubt we'll see them come into the pit lane until they have a pit stop advantage to the guys behind them. Because at this point, if other people are risking it, they have enough of a gap out at the front to realistically risk it themselves as well. And with 17 seconds...
I agree with you, GB.
There
it is. Neymar dips in.
Yeah, Neymar dips into the pit lane. Murphy continues. So splitting the strategy between the two leaders.
Neymar the first to get it in, looking for the undercut here.
Be interesting to see whether Murphy responds on this lap as well, because like I said earlier,
back on the inners.
Interesting strategy there.
Looks like the rain's going to stick around a little bit, but
yeah, Massive Afro.
The rain looks like it stopped. The rain looks like it stopped. Looking from the driver cam of ABR Murph, I see no drops falling. The rain has stopped. Track's still very wet, but the rain has stopped. Maybe enters to another stop.
Potentially, yeah. Massive Afro now within a second of BRL Neymar. The pit stop window has worked perfectly there for Neymar, getting himself back out in front of third place. Meaning that now it is all down to Murphy to see whether he responds on this lap and comes into the pits himself. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did stay out, because like we'd said earlier, we thought that Murphy was maybe hiding some of his true pace, so perhaps he was looking after his tyres this entire time instead and just sticking with Neymar. But coming out of the corner again, Murphy stays out, so perhaps he was looking after those tyres
as well. Full battery for Murph, 100% battery for Murph. Plenty of ERS. So I think just biding behind him, using the slipstream, keeping with him, staying just a little bit off his pace, but he's got plenty of battery. Neymar on the fresh compound, doing just fine. You see him dip low there, trying to get in there and get that short time. Already chewing away at the lead that ABR Murph has. Here in the back, we got Reflex Pilot.
Murphy will definitely be now. Murphy will definitely be now hoping that the weather forecasts are correct, that this dry weather is going to come, because he needs to hold on to that 14-second lead that he currently has and hope that he's able to pit for dry tyres before that lead is worn away by BRL Neymar, who will be certainly pushing like mad at the moment. He's already opened up a 4.5 second lead. Yeah, he's already opened up a 4.5 second lead over Afro at the moment.
But like I said, the rain stopped falling. The sun is out. Track is drying up. I think Murph's holding out for some maybe soft tires, medium tires. Mediums could take him all the way.
Mediums could definitely take him all the way, and if he manages to go a couple more laps, you never know, he might even be able to go on a set of softs all the way to the end.
Absolutely, and if the track dries up, Neymar on the intermediates, I mean, it could be tough at the finish. Neymar still in their way, 1:12.4 with a fast lap now, really pushing here. He's cut the lead down to 12.7, 12.6, just absolutely blistering pace here. We see Zamp trying to make a move on Conley, going around the long way, gets it done with ease. Conley looks like he's dipping into the pits.
Yeah, Craig Conley going to make
up
his
to
first pit stop. So right now, looking at this order, we only have Murphy, Afro and Haters who haven't made their pit stops yet. They are still out on the set of intermediates they started on. As you can see, they've really profited from this at the moment. We've got Murphy out in the lead by about 11 seconds over Neymar. Like I said, he'll be hoping for the dry tyres to be needed as soon as possible, or at least before Neymar cuts down that 11-second gap. But then looking behind them, Afro and JDM Haters, both of them haven't pitted, and JDM has a 15-second lead over Zampa, who has pitted. So the three of the top four here yet to pit, and it could be paying off for them, it seems, because it is definitely getting drier out there.
Wild strategy here, GB. Maybe Neymar goes to the intermediates, closes the gap, pits with Murphy for the soft tires.
I won't be surprised. He just has to close that gap in the first place. JDM is into the pit lane, so his tyres have not managed to make it until the it's dry enough for dry tyres. So that will cost him a bit. He's really pushed it. He's gone 23 laps on that set of intermediates, but of course now he's going to drop back quite considerably as he comes out the pits in what I suspect will be P9, maybe P8 actually. He'll get exit the pits into. But back out
from squeeze out Monkey there, up to P4 in the McLaren. Good show for Zampa today.
And out of the front, Murphy has got just under 9 seconds lead at the moment over BRL Neymar. He sticks it out another lap here. Goes out to start lap 24, and I think we are definitely coming into soft tyre territory here. It's on that sort of window where... Go on.
I really think that Neymar is trying to close this gap to pit with Murphy. He's got the pace. He's already chewed the gap down to 8.1. I think he is going to push these intermediates to the absolute limit and try to catch Murph. Pit along with him and come out both on soft compounds. Murph on the older tires is losing time to Neymar. Neymar on the fresh compound intermediates is able to just really push the car here. Big gamble by the Racing Point. I think it might pay off though. He's 7-7 to him right now. I think Murph can probably get a few more laps out of these inners. I think we're going to see them pit together.
It's going to be very close, that's a certain. And it'll be interesting as well with Neymar setting that pace in qualifying on soft tyres. I think we're going to have a sprint race to the finish here with everyone pitting for soft tyres, because with 12 laps to go, I reckon there's probably 1 or 2 laps before people start pitting for those dry tyres. And I mean, at this point, we're going to have that sprint race to the finish, aren't we? Everyone on soft tyres just going around for 10 laps or so. One stint on dry tyres, it's just going to be about pure pace. And we saw, like I say, in qualifying, Neymar has that pure pace. He's now got the gap down to nearly 6 seconds. So it is really coming down between the two at the front though. Zampa starting to close in on massive Afro as well. He was 16 seconds behind because he lost a bit of time overtaking Monkey. But he is now getting that gap down to Afro, down to about 14 seconds. The McLaren, doubt he'll be able to catch up to the Mercedes of Afro before pitting for the dry tyres, but he's definitely on for a P4 at least in this race at the moment. A strong showing from Zampa in the McLaren.
We just lost Conley there. I'm hearing from Chalupa's engineer. Chalupa's also having a hard time getting in. Can we see about try to get them another invite? Conley and Chalupa. Thank you, sir. Chalupa's showing an error, in-game error, not allowing him back in, but we are working on it, Chalupa. Stand by.
That is the wrong button.
Yes, Kurt has been lapped a few times, unfortunately.
Collision spin, I think that is. Puncture or something.
Murph. ABR Murph losing the car. Puncture in the left rear for ABR Murph. He drove him too long. What a tough break there. Yep, you can see the left rear wobbling really bad. Puncture struggling to get the car into the pits. Definite puncture on the left rear there. Just took him one lap too long. That's unfortunate.
And that will cost Murphy now probably a chance of victory today, because he's going to, I would have thought, come out potentially in P3 from this, although we see Massive Afro now pull into the pits as well, so he also decided not to take them any longer than needed. He has a puncture himself on the front left, so both Murphy and Afro picking up punctures on the same lap, but both of them, by the looks of it, pitting for dry tyres as well. Yeah, Murphy pitting for mediums, Afro taking the gamble and going out on softs. Oleg has also pitted for softs, and Halo down in P14 is out on mediums, so you never know, Murphy might not be out of this yet. If that window of changing onto dry tyres has come as he's pit, it'll be interesting to see what his pace is like on his outlap, because if he can gain to the cars around him, then, well, he could gain a lot of positions in this pit stop, and you never know, might be back with BRL Neymar up at the front of the pack.
Yeah, we see in the chat there is Conley DRS enabled by race control. Here comes the overtakes, 27 to 36 laps. Yeah, Kurt has had a rough day, having major connection issues.
Oh no, that's not good for Neymar, the DRS being activated at that point. He's only just on the back straight between turn 3 and 4, so he has a lot of the lap to go still before he's able to get back to the pit lane, so you never know. This might have played very well for Murphy, as we see the likes of Division and Reflex and Charisma all diving into the pit lane at the moment. That promotes Murphy back up into P3. Zampa is still out on track. He's decided to stay out and lap extra. He's up in P2 now. We'll see Neymar coming towards the pit lane here. He is going to peel into the pits, so I assume he will strap on a set of the soft tyres and just go to the end, but looks like Neymar, assuming he doesn't make any mistakes in this race, pretty much has it in the bag. I mean, he has a 30-second advantage over Zampa, who in turn has an 11-second advantage over Murphy. That is definitely enough to make one pit stop in.
That's right. Neymar out on the solve. Zampa still on the intermediate. It's going to have to pit as well. Probably going to lose that spot to ABR Murphy.
Be interesting to see whether Zampa can still challenge though for a podium here, because he's not going to be too far behind the likes of Afro, and he will have the fresher rubber as well, so Zampa maybe having a late charge for a podium here.
I think he's got a good contention for it. On the red stripe tires, we see Zampa in the McLaren. ABR Murph taking the fast lap there, 11.8 on the medium tire. Massive Afro still in it right away, 10.4. We're seeing Zampa right now coming out of the pits. Looks like he's going to be right behind Massive Afro, maybe even the Haas there, but I believe the Haas is a lap car. Yeah, he did. Makes it out right in front of the Haas, just in behind Afro, 2.4 seconds off. Afro there, a little lockup coming into 3.
I'm looking at the differences between the lead cars. It looks like Neymar has this all but wrapped up. He's still got 60% of his ERS available as well, so should he make a mistake or decide that he wants to push, he has the ERS available, but I mean, he's almost a pit stop ahead at this point, so if something does go wrong, he could quite easily come into the pits and probably still come out in P1. ABL Murphy also got a large stock of ERS available to him. He's in P2, but he's got a nice gap back to Afro, whose main issue now is going to be, can Zampa catch up to him? Zampa with a lot less ERS than Massive Afro as well, so could definitely be a battle until the end of the race here. But we see a midfield battle as well going on at the moment between Division, Haters, Pilot, Charisma. Those guys battling it for positions down from P5 to P8 at the moment.
JDM on the medium tires, really charging here. Monkey fast lap, 183. 183 for Monkey. That brings the fast lap down 2 seconds. Everybody's pushing now. The dry tires are on all the cars. Everybody looking to make up for the wet session there.
Neymar's definitely taking it easy in these conditions as well. He's not really pushing the car all too much. He's got a 20-second lead that has come down by about half a second or so over the last lap. But I mean, he could keep on doing that. He's not going to be overtaken in this race unless he makes a mistake himself, because 20-second gap with only 6 laps to go. There's just no way that Murphy can catch that, I'm afraid, as he sets another fast lap though, a 1 minute 8.1 on his mediums. So Murphy definitely showing that he has the pace, but that, well, the strategy just cost him by pushing those intermediates a bit too long.
The big battle right now is 5 through 8. We've got everybody back there jockeying for position. Charisma looking to get it done here, way wide into turn 1. Sends the car in, trying to get around Reflex. Reflex taking it right back. Both of them losing a little time there. JD all over the back of Division. Looks inside, dips back out, not able to get it done just yet. Division very defensive, catches the sausage curb there.
Yeah, Reflex Pilot almost goes up the rear end of JDM Haters as well into turn 3. That was very close, and I'm sure that Reflex may need a fresh set of underwear after that, because that was a little bit too close to comfort.
Yeah, and we see while that battle was going on, Neymar 164 stealing away that fast lap as well, looking for the extra point. They're going to battle it back and forth here toward the end. 5 laps to go here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring.
I don't think Zampa's going to be able to make this podium at the moment. He's got his gap to Afro has extended
PBR.
a little bit.
Tapping wheels with Oleg there. He's got the inside. Oleg gives him another nudge. PBR have to back out. Oleg hit him twice there. Looks like a couple of the drivers, King Chalupa and Craig Conley, both having trouble getting into the lobby, getting a Cody error there. We hate to see that. Both of them had pretty good races going. Tough break for PBR there, man. Put the run on Oleg into Sector 2, and looks like there was a little bit of banging. Good defense, but a little bit of banging wheels there. Reflex Pilot and JD mixing it up. Touching wheels. Reflex backing out. Got quite the battle here going on as we see Murph catching another penalty.
Murphy might have to be careful here, because I haven't been keeping an eye on the penalties too much, but I can't remember seeing one come up for Massive Afro, and the gap between Murphy and Afro at the moment only just under 6 seconds. So depending on penalties, Afro could find himself getting a P2 here if he's not if he's lucky, and you never know. Depending on Zampa's penalties, if Murphy has enough, Zampa could even be in contention for a podium purely on penalties.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we've seen one for Zampa there, 3 second that I recall. Conley doing his best trying to get back in. JD looking for a move here, getting it done with ease with a purple Sector 1. Dips underneath Division, wheel to wheel. Wins out.
A little bit of contact.
Wins out. It's going to be a drag race to the next turn. Division dips
JDM.
in the slipstream. Division on the outside. JD with the lockup, trying to get the nose down, giving him space. Division running a little wide there, trying to be defensive. Oh, what a battle we're watching here. Division with the switchback. JDM on the outside. Very close to 3 cars here. What a battle. JD able to get it done and defend after.
Charisma in the background thinking of making a move on Reflex.
Yeah.
That's back out of it.
Looking over the rear spoiler of JD, watching that battle right now. Oh, Division catching a penalty there. A little wide in the last turn.
Yeah, penalties are going to be crucial in this battle over P5. We've got 4 drivers pretty much within a second of each other. All of them separated by a second. You can literally throw a blanket over these 4 as Charisma thinking of making a move up the inside of Reflex Pilot. A little bit of contact there, but doesn't quite get
Division
the move
able
done.
to get it back. Sending it around the outside of JDM. Neymar again dropping the time down, 105 and some change. That move by Division was incredible. Really stuck it in there, turn 3, went the long way around the outside, just able to squeeze JD out, take his position back. What a battle we're seeing here. The Hoss of Reflex Pilot, and he loses it. He loses it, having to check up. Coming in hot behind JD. JD a little bit slower. Reflex slows to try to stay off of him and loses the car in the middle of the S's there. Tough break for the Hoss. He was having a great race. Not sure if there was contact there. It looks like he just maybe lost the car having to check up unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Charisma, real wide there in turn 1. Almost loses the car as well.
JDM right at the back of Division here, going up into turn 3. Will he think about making a move? Not this time around. Instead, he's going to go for the switchback move, I reckon, and try and get as good an exit out of turn 3 as possible. But for now, he's still behind Division, coming down into turn 4.
Division's got big elbows, though. He's not going to let him by without a fight.
And JDM decides against it that time around, so I reckon we might see a move here from JDM on the start-finish straight. So
yellow flag, yellow flag. Looks like slow traffic there. AlphaTauri giving way. I think that's the lap car at Conley.
Yeah. Just in case people are wondering how our good friend Kurt in the Ferrari is getting on, he is pitted and is back out on intermediates on a dry track. I mean, whatever pleases.
Yeah, from what I understand,
AI,
he's having a heck of a day with this connection. It's tough break too, because we know Kurt's a challenger. He's got great pace, great guy. Just the connection was not working with him today. Here comes JD again, outside of Division, going around. He's going to try to use Division's tactic and go the long way around here. Division cut it in tight.
The exit. He's done it.
Got him by a half car.
Neymar,
and he gets it done.
Time penalty. Looking in the background as well, it was a three-way fight after Reflex lost the car by what looked like by himself coming out of turn 8, but it's become a four-way fight again because Monkey on a set of softs has joined into the battle now, as we see Charisma has got up the inside of Division now, so Division dropping back.
Really battling for position there in Sector 2. Charisma sticking that McLaren in there, giving it everything it's got. Those medium tires keeping him glued to the ground, and we've got a car around. That's going to be Zampa. Big crash in the wall there for Zampa. Both end plates gone. Right into the start straight, missing the pits. He's going to have to go all the way around before another pit stop. That is horrible situation there for Zampa.
On the final lap, though, so we actually see BRL Neymar cross the line to take that win, spins the car over the line, does it with style, but BRL Neymar takes the win around the Spielberg Red Bull ring. Behind him, it's going to be ABR Murphy who will come out of turns 9 and 10, and he will take himself a P2.
That battle of 4 cars catching up to Zampa now with a huge wing damage. Zampa just trying to limp it back home and get it done. Can he fend them off? JDM's coming with some serious pace. Gonna dip right underneath Zampa, struggling there. Zampa gonna get out of the way for his teammate as well, let Charisma by. Tough break for Zampa there. The McLarens look like they might finish together.
Be interesting to see how penalties take effect here as we see JDM haters cross the line. They all come across the line. Zampa still
the jumble,
gets P4.
Zampa's still getting up in P4. What a mix-up because of penalties. Wow.
So despite the massive crash for Zampa, despite that massive crash, he actually finishes where he was in the first place. That is fantastic from Zampa there. I think now he'll be wondering how much time did he actually lose from that accident, because he finished 19 seconds behind Massive Afro in P3. I mean, if he lost 19 seconds because of that crash, he might be kicking himself. He might have missed out on the podium
Oh,
there, but
I think he had a
fantastic
podium
there.
there as well, GB. That's a tough break. PBR going to jump a spot as well over Halo for penalties. Kurt, 13 laps down.
And
Tough
on a
break for
set
Kurt
of,
today with the connection issues.
and on another
You just
set
hate
of
to see it.
intermediates.
Just hate to see it.
So at the end of the race, while we wait for Kurt to cross the line, it's BRL Neymar who takes the win from a massive 28-second gap back to ABR Murphy. What a battle for the win that could have been had Murphy's tyres not punctured towards the end of his stint on those intermediates. But BRL Neymar, with his strategy, was just fantastic. Managed to command the race and get a massive margin of victory today. Afro rounds out the podium for the Mercedes team, just 4 seconds behind Murphy once podiums are taken into effect. Then we have Zampa, who takes a dramatic P4 after a big smash towards the end of the race that almost cost him a well-deserved 4th place, but he got that back on penalties. JDM Haters dropped P5 with Division in P6. Monkey takes P7 with Charisma, the second McLaren, in P8. Then he is followed by Reflex Pilot in P9 for the Haas. Oleg is the first of the men to be a lap down, according to my telemetry anyway. He is the first of the men to be a lap down. He rounds out the top 10 with Rabner in the AlphaTauri in P11 and Halo rounding out the points in P12. Then it is King Chalupa in P13 and then Conley P14 and Kurt P15. So the 3 drivers with the connection issues at the back of the grid not claiming any points today. But I mean, what a race, AJ.
Charisma taking driver of the day honors as well for Charisma. What a race. It was a crazy mix up there. Dry quali, wet to dry race. Neymar, Murph running it out there for the longest time. Unfortunately, Murph catches a puncture. And that's what cost him. Neymar, great show today in the Racing Point. And it's great. We're going to get everybody in here. Race interviews. Stay tuned. We will be right back with those right after this commercial break. GB, if you will please start getting everybody in.
Yeah.
Got Neymar, Murph, Massive Afro, and let's get Zampa in as well, and Charisma, please.
There we go.
Alright guys, as you come in, please tick your box in the party menu to include your audio. That way everybody on the stream can hear you. It's important. They want to hear what you got to say about your big races today. Zampa, as always, please tick the box so that we can make sure everybody can hear you. Charisma, please tick your box so everybody can hear you.
Yeah, all done, all good.
Cheers. Okay, waiting on a couple more to get in here, and then we're going to start interviews.
No worries. That was madness. So I just want to ask you, Massive Afro, why have you got Witzel as your gamer pick?
Oh, he's a good Bernie.
Alright, Murph, if you would please tick the box in the party menu to include your audio.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Do we get Neymar? Murph.
Kurt's left like 5 times this race and joined back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was having tons of connection issues. He was messaging me trying to get back in.
I gotta
We did our
say
best
that
to try to keep
it's
him
an
in.
inspirational story to see Kurt do the entire race on intermediates. Well, his AI do the entire race on intermediates. It was really something. He brought a tear to the eye.
Fears at one
Okay,
time. he
well,
was-
we're waiting.
Yeah, sorry, come on.
We're waiting on Neymar here, but we're gonna go ahead and start with ABR. Murph, big race today. You and Neymar were out front for the longest, and it looks like you caught the puncture trying to stay out a little bit longer. Was the strategy to hold for the one-stop dry tire go? Can you tell us a little bit about what happened today?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the strat was. I was just trying to get to the dry period, but I was actually pitting that lap as well, so that's a bit tough. But I don't think I would have caught. Looking back on it, I don't think I would have caught Neymar anyway. He was too quick on the inters. He was catching me again after his pit stop as well. Quick.
Very quickly, yeah. Massive Afro right behind him in P3 also caught a puncture that lap right behind you. Massive. What were the thoughts going there? Were you trying to stretch it as well, or did it just sneak up on you?
I tried to stretch it. I saw the division pit. It was way behind. I thought I'm not gonna gain anything by pitting, so I scratched out. And luckily, it was dry enough when I puncture.
I saw you with your puncture. The front right, front left.
Mine went at 96, I think, 96%.
Jesus.
Or not 9 to that.
So a third and a half, or a third of a lap. More tyre.
Zampa there as well. Big spin right at the end, losing tons of time, able to limp the car home and get a big jump to P4 due to penalties. What went through your mind as the car left the track there?
Oh, I was absolutely gutted with that. Luckily, I had a big gap behind me because I went onto the soft mediums. But yeah, last lap I spun out of turn 1. Was it turn 1 or was it after turn?
I think it was turn 1, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
I
was
know I
turn
did
1,
say
yeah.
to you before the start of the stream that we want content, but we didn't mean something as extreme as that to get the content. It was a dramatic ending, it's got to be said.
Yeah, I didn't know what
Oh,
was going
yeah.
to happen at the end. Luckily, others got more penalties than me, and I got away with that and ended up P4. But
Yeah, JDM was charging
crazy.
real hard behind, looking to move up, but he did catch a few penalties. The battle there at the end for 5 through 8 was just tremendous. Charisma, Division, JDM, Reflex Pilot for a little bit. Looks like JDM was a little slow in Sector 2, and Reflex tried to check up. We couldn't see from our angle if there was any contact, but we saw Reflex lose the car and slide off the left of the chicane there. It was a tough break on that. He had a really good race going. Charisma, driver of the day, big battle there at the end. You threw a nasty move on Division, getting underneath him there in the Sector 2. Talk us through that little moment there.
I mean, I don't think there was any contact, was there?
No contact.
Uh-huh.
Good clean move. You just really went for it there. I know it was late in the race. Talk us through setting it up and getting it done there.
Well, when you're in those sort of situations where you've got a couple of cars battling in front of you, you've got to really think of your whereabouts and where you're going to go, because they were both inside, outside, dummy, you can see on the straights. So I was sort of taking a step back and finding my moment, if you get what I mean. And
Absolutely.
I can see him, Division was going wide for some reason. I thought, I don't know why he's going wide, so I thought, I'm going to see if I can slip on the inside, and luckily I did. I made sure I gave him plenty of space on the outside, because I know he was on the outside of me. And respecting our,
Oh, yeah.
our racing line,
Plenty of daylight between both cars. Fantastic move at the end. You saw it get up in position right there in the last lap. It was tremendous. Looked great. The battle there for 4 or 5 laps at the end between you guys all right there bunched together was tremendous. Looked like Monkey was trying to take advantage. He got in the mix there late, but just not able to move up.
I mean,
great race today, guys.
he beat me, but I made sure I beat him to the line anyway.
Nah,
there was no
bragging
way he was getting
rights.
past me. Yeah.
Tier 1, as always, putting on a great show. Tough break for Kurt. We saw him lag out. Chalupa and Conley both having connection issues there where the game wouldn't let him back in. That's a tough break. Chalupa had a good midfield finish lined up there. Conley was charging up as well. Well, this is a return to racing, guys. SSR is back for the second stint of the season. Austria was amazing so far for Tier 1 and Tier 2. We've got Tier 3 tomorrow. Don't miss that. Tier 3 always puts on a fantastic show. Zampa, do we have any other announcements you'd like to make?
Only other than your return, and a special thank you to Chalupa for stepping in last minute for covering the comms on Tier 2. It was a really good job.
Yeah, big shout to Chalupa. Last minute change, audible there right before Tier 2. Fantastic job there, Chalupa. Sorry about the race today. I know that's a tough break for you. I am happy to be back here. Some fresh faces and changes for SSR. Stay tuned for some coming excitement. We do have an Assetto Corsa League in the mix. SSR Charisma is going to be handling that, as well as some help from myself. Stay tuned to our social media for updates on that. I know Zip's doing a wonderful job on the social media. He's going to have some content rolling out for that. I know Zip's been working really hard on some lap guides pre-race weekend, so keep your eyes out for that. He's doing a lot of work. Those are going to be super awesome. But big shout out to everybody tuning in today. I think we got up around 12, 15 viewers. We need to get those numbers up, guys. So we will see you tomorrow back in Austria at the Red Bull Ring for Tier 3.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you all.